We got 3 games on the WNBA betting slate for Friday, July 28th, and I have 3 bets for you guys to lock in. Now, I will say I have not been doing well recently on my WNBA picks. I have missed both of my last picks overall. I have won 9, I have lost 11, and I am down a little bit over 2 units. So obviously do need to be upfront about that. Have not had a lot of success, but I still trust the process, and I think that these 3 picks are going to go 3-0, and we're going to go ahead and turn things around. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are not already, and let's get into it. Play number 1. We are taking the Liberty minus 14. That is minus 110 odds at DraftKings. So to get the negative side out of this first, the Liberty are on a back-to-back, which I don't love. But in that game being played, they did have a pretty impressive 11-point win against the Dream, and the Dream had been on fire. So the Liberty were at home yesterday. They're going to be at home for the game on Friday as well. They're a good home team, so that obviously does help. But the Liberty are playing the Lynx, and the big news out of that, and why the Liberty are a play, is because the Lynx best player, Nafisa Collier, is going to be out for this game. She got hurt in her last game, and she's going to go ahead and be out for this one. So they are really not a good team at all. That's the understatement of the year without her. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about these details. So their net rating, the Lynx's net rating with Collier on the court is a minus 4.8. That's their team net rating. Now that's obviously not good, but I will say nobody on the Lynx has a positive net rating, so it's not as though they're some really good players. But so they're a minus 4.8 overall net rating with her on the court. With her off the court, she is a team worst minus 18.4 net rating. They have a team net rating of negative 18.4. That's a 14-point difference with her off the court and her on the court. That's massive. Truly astounding numbers with her off the court. Now, if you want to get into the specifics, they have an offensive net rating of 91.6. That's the worst in the WNBA by a mile if that was their team offensive net rating. The lowest team in the WNBA overall is the Storm at 95.4. And as I mentioned, the Lynx have an offensive net rating 4 points below that at 91.6 with her off the court. Defensively, they have a net rating with her off the court of 110, plus 110. That's really bad. The worst team in the WNBA is at 106.5. Obviously, defensive net rating, you want that to be low. Offensive, you want that to be high. So they have the worst offense and the worst defense with her not on the court. That's really bad. Now, the Liberty are a wagon, the second most talented team in the WNBA. They should smash the Lynx at home with Collier out of the court, not on the court. So they're my first play, the Liberty minus 14. Next up, we are going to go ahead and take the Wings minus 7.5. That is minus 114 odds at FanDuel. So the Wings are playing the Mystics, and there's a lot of reasons why I like the Wings in this one. Number 1, the Wings have been on fire. They are 6-2 in the month of July, and they have the second best net rating in the entire WNBA in the month of July. Only the Aces are above them, and the Aces really don't count. They're like so far and above every other team. But the Wings, they're doing pretty well. They're 6-2, as I mentioned, second best net rating. But the reason why this is a play, the Mystics are just not even remotely close to the same team with all the injuries that they've had. They're missing their best player, Elena Delle Donne. She is out until early August. They have Ariel Atkins, who just got hurt right at the beginning of the All-Star break. She's going to be out, or sure, she's been out, I should say, for the past 2 weeks with an ankle injury. She might return this weekend, but she's going to be out for this game. And then their starting center, Shakira Austin, is out as well. So because of that, they've really struggled with these players out of the lineup. In their last 5 games, they lost to the Lynx by 5 at home. I just mentioned how bad the Lynx are, and that was the game Collier actually got hurt in. They allowed 97 points to the Lynx, who have a below-average offense. They allowed 96 points in a loss to the Liberty. Obviously, the Liberty are incredible, but 96 points is a lot. And then the team with the worst offensive net rating in the entire WNBA, the Seattle Storm, hung 86 on the Mystics. So the Wings at home should be able to take care of business here. And then the last play of the evening, we are going to go ahead and take the same game, Mystics versus Wings, take the game to go over 164. That is at minus 110 odds at DraftKings. So I mentioned all about the injuries on the Lynx, right? Well, so leading up until the All-Star break, again, let's talk about the details here. leading up until the All-Star break, the Mystics had allowed the fewest amount of opponent points per game in the entire WNBA. They didn't have the best net rating, but they allowed the fewest points per game. 78.2 points. That's how many points they allowed. Since then, since the All-Star break, they have allowed 86 points per game. That would be the second worst in the WNBA in terms of points per game allowed. And the scary part about that is they've allowed some bad offenses to score a ton. I mentioned that the Lynx put up 92 on them. I mentioned that the Storm put up 86 on them. And now they're facing a team like the Wings that I just mentioned that are absolutely on fire. But I will say, even with all the injuries, the Mystics offense hasn't really been that bad. Notice how I've only talked about their defense. It's really been their defense that's let them down. In their last 5 games, here's what their offensive output has been. 92 points, 84 points, 87, 76, and 93. Remember, this total is at 164. They're putting up for every game except for one in the mid to high 80s with 2 games above 90. Now they're playing a really good team in the Wings who are going to score a ton. So overall, I see that this game is going to be super high scoring with the Wings winning by 8 or more, making this a 3-0 day for us. And that's all I got. So if you're tailing, comment and let me know. Other than that, remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching and have a good one.